Hello there. It is January 21st of 2025. This is not a daily walk video. Let's see, I'm doing a outside sort of I'm just kind of walking around this particular area here. Yeah. It's always fun smacking the icicles off. It's also super funny seeing a bunch of the vehicles around, and they have so many icicles on joke. It's like, oh, it's like they have their own, little, chin hair or beard or something. I don't know. But anyways, so today's been a pretty cold day. Yeah, as the last many days have been for a good while now. And I'm actually just waiting till about 5 so that way I can go eat dinner. That's only because for whatever reason, the labor office has one of their groups or something or other has some kind of meeting in the cafeteria until 5 on Tuesdays. And it'd be really nice if I could just go in there and just go and eat my dinner, but they're like, nope, screw you and anyone else who wants to eat your dinner. I mean, whatever, it's fine. I can wait 20 minutes. I've done it before. Plenty of times. But, I have something, I got some homework I gotta do, and wash my clothes, and a few other things, and if I could just go ahead and eat my dinner so I can just get on with the list of tasks, that'd be great, because I am not running back on over to the dorm for about 5 minutes to do something, and then come all the way back here just so that way I can eat dinner and do everything else, because no, I'm not doing that. It does not seem like a good usage of time. So, anyways, I went by the church that we have here. It's the Danforth Chapel. It's a pretty nice place. I've been in there, a good few times now. And I don't know. I just like to go in there at least once, maybe twice a week, and just go in there and pray, and kind of just, get my feelings out that way. And I was feeling a mixture of things today. I mean, today's not actually even a bad day, but there was just a few things that I just felt kind of upset about. So I was just, kind of just processing that. For example, we had apparently there was a few readings for this one class that I didn't even know that we had. Oh my god, I don't need to see these notifications right now. Stop. I'm swiping them off. So, let me put my glove back on. Sorry. You're just gonna see this really blurry image of up close to the bottom part of my water bottle there. Yeah, so there was a few readings for my classes that we were supposed to have done. And I don't know, probably nothing too terribly long, and I managed just fine this time. But I just felt a little upset about that, because I was like, I know I did homework stuff. Like, I even went ahead and tried to do this other, project thing that's not even done due until like sometime, middle to later of next week or something, right? But anyways, we'll be fine. I know I'll do this stuff too. So I don't know, just doing that, and I just think, while I know that maybe my time here at Berea hasn't really been, really that interesting or glamorous. I think I'm I think I'm fine with that. Kind of really to come to realize that a lot of life's moments, times are kind of boring. Nothing really interesting happens in you know my life most of the time. But I don't know. That's not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, sometimes it's kind of peaceful. I mean, not always, but sometimes it can be. It's just kind of why I liked coming outside, and just seeing, appreciating the snow and the the sort of stillness, or going to the chapel. Just because it feels nice to be reconnected with something much bigger than myself. And while I may struggle to feel like that, sometimes I may actually have certain types of connections with people in real life, perhaps. Not always, but sometimes. Like for example, I'm not with my family right now, and so I've gotten used to it, right? I've gotten used to not having them around, but it does feel a little hard sometimes. It's I think I'll manage. I think I will I'll learn everything that I really need to, and I'll adapt, and and life goes on and whatnot. But yeah, sometimes it is. Sometimes a little hard, and I think that's fine, right? And I do think it is a pretty normal and realistic experience. That for a lot of people, especially a lot of college students, right? Each of their lives are going potentially away from their family, their old friends. Really, a lot of the things that they've known and been comfortable with, and they're going somewhere else in the world that they haven't been to before. Perhaps, I mean, maybe they have. I don't know. Sometimes that does happen, right? But generally, right, and just dealing with seeing the world in a different way, and and dealing with not being surrounded by those that you've come to be with. Now, I mean, for some people that's a great thing, because either they're really excited and they want to see more of the world, and for some people it's a great thing because they get away from obviously really crappy households, and they deal with a lot of trauma, and so or something like that. So I absolutely I've been fortunate enough to have that experience myself, but I absolutely understand. I can very much feel why, and I'm not really here to talk about trauma stuff, and honestly, I don't really feel comfortable because, again, it's not right for me to speak about such things when I'm not a person who's experienced it myself. But it would also be wrong for me to not acknowledge it. So I don't know. Kind of just. Feel free to to something below about that. But if you want to. But if you like this sort of content I make, this video or anything else that I've made, and you want to see more of it in the future, then please like the video so more people can see it. Subscribe to my channel, and turn on the notification bell so you can see when new videos release. It'd be much appreciated. I am trying to reach 50 subscribers before Valentine's Day, and we're at 42 right now. So if you could just contribute to that goal, it'd be much appreciated. But if you don't want to, that's fine. No pressure. So yeah. I don't know. I don't know how much sense this will make, and I don't know. Maybe maybe I'll feel differently, as my experience with Korea goes along, or I, experience new things in life in general, and in good or bad, right? Whatever it may be. But I do sometimes feel, I wonder, like, you know, how I often try to. Okay, I'm trying to think. Let me restart this. Okay, so oftentimes in the public school system, so right, elementary school, middle school, high school, maybe not as much in elementary school, but between middle school and high school, I've had a lot of times where I kind of just entertain myself by thinking about all sorts of interesting and different abstract ideas and whatnot, whether it be scientific things such as stars and black holes and galaxies, or stuff like theories such as time travel or alternate realities, or things such as personality typology when I was in my sophomore and junior years. All these sort of really cool different ideas and whatnot, and kind of just getting to a point of I've already. Maybe I haven't really, fully thought through every single thing that I could with those. But kind of feeling like, have I really kind of, pretty thoroughly and often enough thought through all these ideas that I'm trying to just find new things to interest and excite myself by? I don't know. I don't think I'm struggling from a problem of necessarily of boredom or anything like that right now. I think I've been pretty happy with my YouTube channel, and having some fun with Minecraft, and watching some TV every couple of days or so. And I think I'm doing fine. But this was a sort of question that I had kind of going through my mind through some of my senior year of high school, and some of earlier this school year. Just I don't know. It's the kind of thing of do I kind of something that we all have to think about sometimes. Do I stick to interest-wise, passion-wise? Do I stick to things that I know and love, or have loved, but I may get bored out by because it's already super familiar, or do I try new things, new grounds? And I don't think it's necessary. The answer is necessarily one of completely one or the other. I think it's really more about you have to kind of gauge it, based on where you're at in your life, and how seriously do you think you need to try different things, or engage with different perspectives or people, or if it would be perhaps healthier or favorable to continue on with what you've done. Perhaps sometimes in real life, I feel like that, we often feel so pushed and compelled, either by ourselves, or other people, or just the general world around us, to try new things and to explore outwards, and mostly in the sense of career-wise, but not necessarily for the sake of intellectual growth or interest. I don't really feel like the world at large really cares about those kinds of things most of the time. Not to say that people don't. I think many people certainly do. But just generally speaking, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'm just not really well informed enough. Because hey, I'm 18. Who am I to talk? I've only had 4 or 5 jobs so far, and or something, 6, something like that, including the one I have right now. I don't know. Who am I to talk? I don't, I don't really know business. I don't really know. I haven't really experienced all of life, in America or anything, to say the least. But nonetheless, it's the sort of question that I have. Kind of, I don't know, sort of. I don't know if this is a question per se. It's sort of a thing that it kind of just popped in my mind. I just thought I'd share that. Man, is this time going by kind of slowly? I'm like, how's it not been 20 minutes already? It's only 14 and a half, maybe 15. Man, somehow, these gloves are mostly good, but somehow, my bright pinky finger is, feeling really, really cold. It's kind of bothering me. It's been it's been quite cold, and I don't know. I think this was not anywhere necessarily the most related to what I was just talking about, right? But I don't know, sort of expectations. I mean, I feel like that sometimes in my life, many times in my life, in fact, I've often been like, oh, this is the favorite time of the year or the season or whatever, right? And then it rolls around and you're like, oh, yeah, okay, I don't actually, love it, or I miss it, or oh, I miss it when it was the opposite, or and whatnot. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but oftentimes we kind of fall into the trap of, sort of, wishing for the opposite of something that we're in, or something that's very different, whether we've experienced it or not. You kind of get the trap in thinking, only if, XYZ thing happened, or was real, or didn't happen, or wasn't real, or anything, and particularly, fill in the blank as you will. I think it's important to appreciate and try to see some of the good sides of the things that you have right now, and to also kind of, or even just to be like, well, there's a good and bad in everything, and I can appreciate that sort of nuance. And then whenever certain seasons of life, there'd be literal seasons like summer, winter, spring, fall, all that good stuff, right? Or different kinds of seasons, whether that be perhaps financial or emotional or spiritual or whatever it may be, right? Doesn't really matter too much what it is. You get the point, hopefully. That there's always sort of highs and lows, ups and downs. That's right. Whatever sort of comparing ends of a spectrum you want to use, right? You can sort of try to find and just appreciate and make the most of whatever it is that you are in at that moment. And I think, I don't know, maybe perhaps that's what living in the moment means. I mean, that's something that's the sort of, question I brought up in one of these past, I don't really know if it was I think it was one of my monologue videos, I believe, or dinner discussions or something like that, right? It's either one of those or something where I was sitting in the gazebo on my dorm for like an hour, however it was. That was the last few months, right? That's the sort of question that I brought up. But maybe that's what it really means. I mean, maybe I'm just misinterpreting it, because often a lot of times, not always by any means, but many people, when I hear the same kind of stuff, are like, like really optimistic and really, opportunistic and, really happy-go-lucky and carefree and, extroverted and sanguine, all the good stuff, right? But maybe that's not necessary. Maybe that's just like, maybe I just misinterpreted that because, just different types of people for myself, emotionally and temperament, speaking wise, not other characteristics per se. Has nothing really to do with culture or religion or age or race or anything like that. But I mean, it can sometimes, maybe, but I don't really want to focus on that right now. Nonetheless, hopefully that makes no sense. Let's see, we're getting close to 19 minutes. So yeah, I'll just try to kind of wrap this stuff up the next minute or so here, and then I'll go have myself some dinner and then get on with my, well, I say day, but interesting question. Is it day if, I always get confused on this. Okay, so we say day and night, but we also say a day is 24 hours. So then, therefore, if that's the case, then means that night never happens. But no one says that. At least not in my experience, not my life. So I'm like, okay, so is it that we're saying that the day and the night are each 12 hours, right? And then okay, so we say that, all right, with the day we have morning, afternoon, and evening, all right, and then they all have a rough range of time. I don't know if they're necessarily equal lengths of time. They're each 4 hours or so, because they're a third of the day. But then it's like, when do we count at nighttime, and when do we count at when do we kind of daytime start, right? Like, do we say that the day starts at like, you know, 1 minute after 12, or 1 minute after midnight, because a new day on the calendar? Or do we say that, the day starts at, say, I don't know, 6 a.m. because, that's when the sun comes up? Or, when we start getting up or something like that? Or do we just, or I don't know. Hopefully it makes sense. And also, like, then again, if we're bringing these sort of questions, like, also, so you're saying midnight, but if, like, that's not, does that then mean that, like, that nighttime technically starts at, like, what, 6? Or, like, 6:01 p.m., right? And then, but then that would even make any sense because, that'd be 6, I don't know, well, I don't know, 6, well, no, that actually would make sense because 6 hours, and then if we're saying the nighttime is 12, right, then that'd mean that 6 p.m. is when nighttime starts, and then 6 a.m. is when nighttime ends, or rather like 5:59 a.m. And maybe it doesn't really, I don't think it really cares, and it's not really make a difference in how I live my life or anything, but just sort of thought, I just begged the question. Something kind of confuses me a little bit. I don't really think about it that often, to be honest, but just thought I'd share that. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this, and also I am cold as fuck, so I'm gonna go eat some dinner, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.